Hello, welcome to NOLA Stamping. I'm Barb Baldwin, and today we're going to continue our crafty copycat creations. And this month we're focusing on a super fun one. Honestly, a delicious one. I'm showing how to turn a Nothing Bundt Cake into a beautifully wrapped, gift-ready showstopper. The bundt cake is already a super gift, but when you dress it up with this handmade details and packaging, it's extra special. So let's go ahead and grab our stamps and get started. So today we're using the Festive Friends Cling stamp set, and I got the dies that go along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it first using Memento black ink, and then real red for the tag. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my alcohol markers. So for the Black Friday sale, I got a really good deal, and I got the Real Red Stampin' Blends and the pink and basic gray sets. And I'm going to go ahead and use those to color in my Santa that I cut out. And I just, I wanted to try and see how it would go coloring with just like the limited palette. And it came out really pretty good. I'm using the grays to just sort of emphasize Santa's hair and jolly little mustache. And of course, he's wearing a red suit. So that comes out perfectly. And then one of the reasons why I don't worry about whether or not my Memento ink black is too dark or anything is because I'll just go over it with a pen, just so then that way I can color over the lines a little bit, and then you just use a black ink pen, like the pen, to just go over it to emphasize those lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our paper and we will make the magic happen. So I'm using a piece of Elegant Pine Snowflakes. It's a 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm just cutting it in half. Okay, so for one of the sheets, I'm going to go ahead and score it at 3.5 inches, 7.25 inches, and 11 3/4 of an inch. And then to make the railing and the everything work together on the package, you need to rotate it and score 1 inch from each side. So I'm rotating it and I'm going to score along the long side 1 inch from each one. So, and I'm using the top part of the trimmer because it's got the up to 1.5 inch for the rotating. Okay, so you're going to take that other sheet of paper and you're going to cut it at 7.5 inches, and then go ahead and score it at, well, so first the 1 inch from each side. So you want to make sure that you match that on the other one, and then score it at 3 3/4 of an inch and 6.5 inches. And then the other little part, we're going to use that for the belly band, and I'll show you how we can put that together in just a little bit, because it kind of depends on what's inside of it. I mean, I'm using the Nothing Bundt Cakes box, so like this will work perfectly for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our two pieces. Because those boxes are just a little bit bigger, we're using 2 sheets of paper to go all the way around. But everything still has that 1 inch like side to it in order to create sort of the box that everything will sit in. So go ahead and take your bone folder and just go ahead and burnish all of those folds just so that they're nice and crisp. And then so I did all of the folds on the 12 inch paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it on the 6 by 7.5 inch. And what we're going to do is fold back that first 1 inch, so from the 6.5 inch to the 7 inch on that little piece. And that's just going to create like a nice little cuff sort of look to the wrapping. And then we're going to go ahead and tape down those 2 edges. those don't need to move at all because it's going to be used for the lid. So like nothing needs to fit inside of it at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and concentrate on the part that's going to hold the actual like Bundtlet inside of it. So we want the first part to go up, and then that second part will hold the bottom of the Bundtlet. So we want to fold those up. So you're going to take and just score it so that that line, you take the fold line and you line it up along the edge. And then just create like a perfect little triangle like that. And then, you know, just go around where the bottom is going to be for the little Bundtlet and do all of the edges, all of the corners, I mean, and then just score everything out so that it's got like a perfect triangle. And then go ahead and tape down the edges that are not part of that bottom part, just for it'll just keep everything nice and clear a little bit better. Keep it all like nice and neat, and then that'll really make the fold for the bottom, the little tray, stand out perfectly. So all that we really need is to just add the lid onto the top of it. So just go ahead and line up where that lid is going to go on the last fold for the 6x12, and then line it up where that fold goes on the 6x7.5. And then we've got the perfect square. And so because I love just like using up all the pieces together, I'm going to take that last little piece that is left over from cutting from the 6x7.5 inch, and I'm going to cut them into 1-inch strips, and I'm going to use that as the belly band. I know that a lot of people like the belly band to just like go all the way around, but this uses up the little last bit of paper. So I find that to be a little bit perfect, especially for something, you know, like that way the paper sort of ties in with the way that everything looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my tape runner to attach the 3 1-inch pieces. And then, so you can do it one of 2 ways. So because the sides will be a little bit open, I like being able to run the belly band almost like sideways around the box, because when you put the Bundtlet inside the wrapping, you don't want it to move around a little bit. I use this a lot at work because we have somebody who is gluten-free, and this is the perfect way to do like a gluten-free treat for her, and then do like a treat for everybody else at the same time. That's just, you know, that's just as good. And so like we like wrapping them up a little bit to just give it a little bit of extra pizzazz. But that does mean that the thing looks a little sideways, like when you put the tag on the top of it. But that's okay because honestly, everybody is interested about what's inside, and the adorable little Santa that you've drawn and colored will be the big hit. So I'm using some red and white baker's twine from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to put that in the top to hold the little tag together with the rest of the little thank you card that I cut out. I still use that same Festive Friends die cut sort of that are available with that stamp set. So it has like a little bit of stars up in the corner, and so I cut out using like an old olive for the square sort of area, and then I used the cherry cobbler for the circle, and then we colored the Santa earlier on. When you use the gray with the real red, Santa's suit just turns a little bit darker. So it just really ties in well with the cherry cobbler. So then all we have to do is attach Santa to the belly band. And I like putting that focal point of the belly band on top of where there is a, you're putting two of the strips together, just so then it gives it a little bit more strength. So then all we really need to do is do a little bit of embellishing. So I am going back to the sparkly foamy stars. They were like a gem that was out around Halloween, but the white stars look awesome on Christmas presents. So I'm using up some of the gems. And I love putting like an odd number. So I sprinkled some stars around Santa. And then on the day of, I usually make a couple for the people that I'm giving out to. And then I'll just take them along with me to the office, and then pop the little Bundtlet inside, and then wrap the belly band around, whichever way you choose to wrap it around. And I have, because the tape was already pre-taped, everything just fits perfectly together. And then you just pop it on somebody's desk, and then they have a beautiful little treat and surprise for the day. Well, before you go and make your own version, make sure you check out Christina's video from last week to see her take on the challenge for the month. And if you missed it, my version from 2 weeks ago is linked at the end, so you can catch up and see how differently we approach the same idea. So next week, Christina's going to be back with a brand new project and her new creative spin on it. So keep an eye out for that. And don't forget, we would love for you to play along too. So if you try this project or put your own twist on it, snap a photo and post it in the public Crafty Copycat Creations Facebook group. We love seeing what you make, and you might even be featured in an upcoming episode of our podcast where we wrap up everything that happened in the month. Well, thanks so much for crafting along with me, and don't forget to stay crafty.